Hey everyone, it's Mike from Mike Olson Art. I hope everyone's having a great day today. As usual, thank you guys so very much for taking the time out of your day to check in here and hear me talk a little bit more about some of the art cards that I've been working on. I have a really fun card that I want to share with you guys today, and it's no surprise that a good coach or a good manager can have just as much impact on a game as a player. So there's no reason why they can't be included when we're doing custom cards. And that's exactly what today's card project is a manager card. And now this card is really cool for two reasons. And the first reason is it's the first time I've ever done a manager card. I love that somebody reached out to do something totally different. And I love getting to do things that I've never done before. So getting to do a manager card is super cool opportunity. The second reason why this project is really exciting is that this one is going to be a gift for one of the people that's actually featured on the card. Now, I love it when you guys reach out and want to do, a commission as a gift for somebody. And the fact that it's going to somebody that actually is in baseball is just, beyond exciting for me. So thank you so much to the client that reached out and wanted to do this project because it was super fun. Now, today's project, like I said, manager card, and the manager that we focused on for this one is Braves manager Brian Snitker. We actually featured Brian on this card, but you'll see that his son Troy is also on the front, and that's a little bit more of the story that we're going to talk about a little bit further on. But why don't we just take a look at what we came up with. All right, so here is our custom handmade Brian Snitker card, also featuring his son Troy. And you can see that this card was done in the style of a 1933 Goudy baseball card. And, like I said, this card was a blast to work on. There was a lot that went into it. So why don't we just dive right in and hear a little bit more about what went into making this really cool custom card. All right, guys. So here is a closer look at our brand new Brian Snitker card. This card was done in the style of a 1933 Goudy baseball card. And when I first talked to the client for this one, this project actually started out really differently. The client for this one initially was thinking about doing one of Brian's minor league baseball cards. Brian actually played in the minors for the Braves from 1977 to 1980. He never actually went up to the majors and spent the rest of his time actually in the Braves organization as a coach and eventually as a manager of the team. And like I said, the first thought was we were going to kind of remake one of his minor league baseball cards, and I thought that was a really cool idea. And the more I started to look into information and photos of Brian, I came across this really cool photo. I'm going to put it down here for you guys to see, but it was essentially Brian and his son Troy. And it was before a spring training game, and they were doing the lineup card exchange before the game, and it was a really big deal because it was a father and son, and they took this really cool picture. And no matter how much I thought about the project, I kept coming back to this photo. So I reached out to the client and I asked him, what do you think if we switch this one up? And instead of doing a recreation of his minor league card, we do a whole new card that focuses on both Brian and his son Troy. And the client thought it was a great idea, and that's what we went ahead and did. And I'm so glad we did, because I think that this has a really cool story. Brian and his son both work in Major League Baseball, which is really cool. It's not something that happens very often. And I really wanted to focus in on that really cool bond between the two of them and the fact that they're both coaching in Major League Baseball. So just a really cool client, and I'm really happy that they decided to kind of see my vision and go ahead with it. And honestly, I love how this came out. The front of this card looks really great. The likeness of the two of them really comes through. And honestly, that was the hardest part of this card, was fitting both of these guys into the card and having their likeness kind of come through with them at such a small size. And, the body language, the look of the two, everything just came out so much better than I expected. And I really love it. Now, we decided to go with this 1933 Goudy, and I picked that honestly because one of the cards I worked on before this was a 1933 Goudy design, and I remembered the way that they handle the names in those Goudy cards. It was really small, up over the shoulder of the player, and for this particular card, I wanted most of the interest to be with the two of them. I didn't want to have a whole bunch of distracting card design type stuff on the front, and that's why I decided this 1933 Goudy would be great, because we could still get both of their names on there without it being in some sort of box at the bottom. There's no crazy logos in this design, really just the Big League Chewing Gum banner at the bottom and the two small names. So just really love how the 1933 Goudy kind of helped contain these two guys and really just like brought this whole design together. So really cool. Love the card front. Let's flip this over. On the back here, we decided to go in a little bit different direction than my usual cards. I reached out to the client to ask him, do you plan on having Brian sign this card, or is this going to be more of a gift? And he said, no need to put a signing box. We're just going to give this to him as a gift. So I eliminated the signing box from the bottom here. And we decided instead of that, we were going to put a little cartoon that's kind of reminiscent of those 1980s tops, back of the card designs. And we were going to put something like that in there. Now, I'll kind of zoom in here. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a nod to the relationship here. This is Troy. He is the hitting coach for the Astros. So on the bottom of Brian's card, I put a little anecdote and found a really cool cartoon where we could make the mention, Brian's son is the hitting coach of the Houston Astros. And we decided to kind of jazz up this little cartoon that we found here with a little H and a Houston Astros logo in that ball that he's hitting. And I thought this was a really cool way that we could fill in the bottom of this card and not use the same, signature box that I'm used to putting down there. Other than that, we just put his, manager position, his number, and, some of his really great stats. Brian's been a really great manager for the Braves. He's done an amazing job, and you can see right here, how well he's done. Great win total. His win percentage is above 500. And, you guys will obviously remember he took the Braves to the World Series in 2021. So all of that is on here. And just a really fun card back. I love how it pulls in a little of the story from the front, but still, focuses on Brian's achievements. So really fun card back. And just a really unique card front. Like I said, I love doing cards that are super unique, and this one really gave us the opportunity to create a card that just never existed and kind of tells a story about Brian, his son, and what they've gone through to get to where they're at. So thank you so much to the client that reached out to make this really, really unique card. All right. So that is the story behind our brand new custom, first-time manager card. This card, like I said, super fun to work on. It's great that we could weave kind of a really cool story into this card. And it was great to include Brian's son Troy in here. So I hope that the client really, really loves this one when they get it. And I hope Brian loves it when he gets to open it up, because this one was really special. And I really just hope he loves all the work that went into creating this one for him. So thank you to the customer that reached out for this one. And thank you to Brian. I hope you really enjoy this one. All right, guys, that is it. Thank you so much for tuning in to hear a little bit more about the new card that I have made. And like I always say, there's no card that we can't create, whether we're recreating a really, vintage or, hard to find old card, or whether we're totally coming up with something out of the blue, kind of like this card. There's nothing that we can't create. So any ideas, any commissions, if you're looking for a really cool gift for somebody, just reach out. You can DM me here on Instagram, or you can head over to my website, mikeolsonart.com, and you can reach me that way. And let's talk about your card idea. All right, guys. Thanks so much, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.